Welcome one and all to the Cinegeeks podcast, where movies, TV, and all things geek collide. I'm Angela, still joined by my co-host Roy.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming back to the podcast.
Of course, welcome back, and we hope everybody's staying safe and dry. All right, for today's episode, we'll be talking about the latest legacy sequel to hit theaters, Beetlejuice, directed by Tim Burton, written by Alfred Gough, Miles Miller, and Seth Grahame-Smith, starring Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, Catherine O'Hara, alongside newcomers Justin Theroux, Monica Bellucci, Jenna Ortega, and Willem Dafoe.
Yes, but before we continue, we would like to remind everyone who hasn't done so to please follow our pod wherever you listen to podcasts like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Threads, Letterboxd, and X, aka Twitter, so you can join in on the fun. Also, visit our website, www.cinegeekspod.com, for the latest in movie and TV news and reviews.
Don't forget to send us your questions, suggestions, and feedback to the episode to our email address, cinegeekspod@gmail.com. And please join us on our Facebook page, or group rather, called the Cinegeeks PHHQ. There you can interact with us and with your fellow Cinegeeks as well. All right, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about our movie for this episode, Beetlejuice. After a family tragedy, 3 generations of the Dietz family return home to Winter River. Still haunted by Beetlejuice, Lydia's life is turned upside down when her teenage daughter, Astrid, accidentally opens the portal to the afterlife. So, of course, Beetlejuice is the sequel to the 1988 classic, if I may say so.
Yeah.
Classic horror comedy. Still by Tim Burton. But with a different set of writers for the first one. So the first one was written by Michael McDowell, Warren Scarron, and Larry Wilson. Pero for this muna, we'll go into the details ng behind the scenes mamaya. Ange, what did you think of Beetlejuice?
Ako, I haven't seen Beetlejuice 1.
Okay.
For a really long time. I just remember it when I was a kid. Siyempre, 90s kid tayo. So, parang talagang sikat na sikat yan. Especially yung aesthetic nga. Ni Winona Ryder especially. Very iconic. And Michael Keaton being the 90s man of the hour. Parang ganon. With this movie and, of course, Batman. I have a very vague recollection of the first one. So parang coming into Beetlejuice, sobrang reminiscent siya no original when in terms of aesthetic.
Yes.
Talagang na-capture niya, or if anything, talagang mas nag-double down sila dun sa look and feel. Especially dun sa production. I was very impressed dun sa na-maintain nila. Parang it's a perfect mix of the old and the new.
In terms of
visuals.
Okay.
Kasi they still incorporated the parang claymation style ng mga visual effects, and hindi naman siya nag-overboard dun sa pag-CGI niya na parang 21st century CGI. Parang nagkaroon pa rin siya nung element and nung talagang napaka-evident na influence nung art style nung first one. Tapos yung colors niya, yung composition ng mga shots, ang ganda tingnan, basically. So, yes, mas na-connect ko siya visually. In terms of the story, the characters, syempre Winona Ryder was the actress du jour din nung panahon na yon. I'm just not sure if ito yung parang breakout role niya.
Let me just check. Kasi, I mean, it checks out, na pwedeng ito din yung talagang nag-put sa kanya in the map. Yes, 1988. Mga around 15 years old lang ata siya neto, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Hindi, mga 17 pala. Yes, 17 years old pa lang siya neto.
Pero, parang she really represented the goth community of the time. Kasi uso din yun nun eh. 'Di ba? So, she was the parang poster child talaga of the early 90s na goth emo kids.
Actually, puro nga halos Iba-iba naman din yung, naging varied din yung kanyang filmography over the 90s. Pero, yun nga, hindi mawawala na may isa laging parang goth or parang sobrang dark na aesthetic na scene nakasama siya. Sige, pagkatapos na ito, Edward Scissorhands. Tapos yung Bram Stoker's Dracula na, kasama niya si Keanu Reeves, tsaka si Anthony Hopkins. Yan. Tapos, meron pa nung Alien Resurrection. So, tama ka na yun na nga. Laging may somewhat pagka-typecast sa kanya.
Oo, tsaka may trend din talaga nung time na yon na movies. Maraming ganon na parang may dark angst na goth style, diba? I really don't remember the original except for, yes, Winona Ryder and Beetlejuice.
And Michael Keaton.
Yun lang. So, ang pinaka na-take away ko dito sa Beetlejuice was how visually connected siya dun sa una.
Okay.
How about you, Roy? What did you think of Beetlejuice?
Okay. Siguro a brief backgrounder, kumbaga. Yung movie na to, this is not pulling anybody's leg. Ito sa mga favorite na sine ng tatay ko. Yan. Being a young adult in the late 80s. And nung lumalaki ako, pinapanood din niya sa akin to. As any parent is wont to do kapag lumalaki anak niya, yung panoorin mo yung mga favorite stuff ko. Matanda ako. So, siya talaga? Integral part, kumbaga, ng aking early film education. So, parang ito, kasabay nito, Star Wars, yung mga ganong classic movies na pinapanood natin, or pinapanood ko pala, as I was growing up. So, coming into this movie, I had siguro tempered expectations of where and how Tim Burton would take this film. Kasi, yun na nga, it's been 36 years since the first one. And if I may, the first one is a near perfect movie. Talaga. Napaka-perfect nung simplicity nung kwento niya. Napaka-earnest nung sine. Pwede mo kasi sabihin na parang, movie is full of heart, ganyan. It's becoming like a buzzword thrown around haphazardly these days. Pero the first one, Beetlejuice 1, we'll call it that, is one of the few films na talagang you can really say na it wore its heart on its sleeve. Kasi, and this is gonna be the first parang thing I will quote-unquote call out the sequel for.
Okay.
Napakalaking part ng unang movie, yung characters ni Alec Baldwin and ni Gina Davis. Yan. So, sila yung mag-asawa na Maitlands, si Adam and si Barbara.
Kumbaga sila yung normies.
Ito na nga spoiler for a 36-year-old movie. Yung si Adam at saka si Barbara Maitland, they are ghosts trapped in their house, the big house seen in both films. And they're trapped in the house kasi they died in a car accident. And them being parang these good-natured people, knowing na their house just got sold, gusto nilang mapaalis yung mga humans living in the house na kasi house nila yun. They still consider it their house. Okay,
so they're haunting the house.
They're haunting the house, pero they're not malevolent spirits.
Okay.
Yung kanilang attempts at haunting, quote-unquote, yung family ni Winona Ryder, Catherine O'Hara, and the guy who portrayed Charles Dietz, we're not gonna mention his name.
Cancelled ba siya?
Yes.
Okay.
You can Google why that guy is cancelled.
Kaya pala ganun yung niya dito sa Beetlejuice.
Dun sa actually, yun lang yung na-appreciate ko dun sa scene na pangalawa. Na parang, okay, good movie. Never parang dignify people like that.
Okay,
good job.
Okay.
But going back, the Maitlands, they're just trying to parang make the humans go away in the most polite way possible. So for ghosts, hindi sila yung sobrang parang malevolent na parang talagang tatakutin. Yung biggest attempt nga nila to scare away the people is wearing sheets over their heads.
Okay.
Takutin lang yung tao. And even then, hindi nga gumana kasi sobrang good-natured nilang dalawa, mag-asawa. That heart, and the reason I bring that up is because that heart that is ever present doon sa unang sine is absolutely non-existent in the sequel.
True. I agree. Kasi yun yung missing part Kasi parang the Dietz family, and then this, kasi parang hindi naman sila normal normal family, di ba?
Yung mga Dietz?
Oo, parang napaka-dysfunctional nila
Oo, kasi yung si tatay, si Charles, ano siya, your stereotypical 80s go-getter guy na walang pakialam sa pamilya niya. Si Delia is Lydia's stepmother, and that is a fact that is not mentioned in the sequel. So if people are gonna watch this movie blind, the second one, and parang ask bakit ganun yung dynamic nilang dalawa, no one's gonna have a clue why they're so cold to each other. Pero hindi sinabi yun na stepfather or stepmother ni Winona Ryder si Catherine O'Hara.
Oo nga. Tapos yun nga parang walang foil yung mga deets this time. Kasi ang foil nila the last time were the Maitlands di ba?
Oo.
So, mayroong ganong dynamic. And then, there's Beetlejuice in the middle.
Siya yung wild card.
So, parang, ang nangyari na lang dun sa Beetlejuice, walang parang nagpo-portray, nandun sa spot sana na dapat merong mag-foil or parang merong kabanter yung Deets family.
Or at the very least, yung parang magbibigay nung humanity or nung relatability doon sa sine for the audience to latch on to. Kasi the effective films, yung mga magagandang sine always has an element of humanity that the audience can tether themselves to. So,
true.
Diba? So, essentially, what happens is, these characters na yung foil nung mga sobrang yung normal characters, yung mga outlandish, foils natin sila as moviegoers, essentially. So, kaya mas pleasant, mas engaging yung moviegoing experience. Pero kung talagang parang ang trato sa'yo nung sine is you are a third-party observer, you're not even an audience member, you're just watching something, parang that's lazy screenwriting.
Well, funny you say that kasi parang ang naging dynamic na lang nitong nung characters na bago, kahit yung mga newly introduced ones, para na lang siyang naging Addams Family. Would you agree?
Dito sa bago?
Ito, kasi kahit yung inintroduce sa bago, si Justin Theroux is a new member, quote-unquote, of the family.
Oh my God.
Pero ganun din siya ka-weird and out there. So para lang siyang Addams Family na merong extended family na as weird as the nuclear members of the family, di ba?
Well, buti sana kung merong common narrative thread going through every single character in this movie.
Kasi it just became about the Deets family, this second one.
Buti sana kung yun nga, if it were just about the Deets I mean, if you see this film, and I'm sorry this is barely a film. It's a sketch show masquerading as a film.
Yun nga, alam mo, I felt weird kasi, di ba nga, hindi ko na maalala yung story nung first Beetlejuice. So parang sabi ko, nung pinapanood ko yung Beetlejuice, parang, ganito ba yung first movie? Parang hindi naman yata ganito. Parang meron namang real conflict yon, merong real plot na fina-follow. Tapos merong real protagonist.
Oo.
Tapos the shenanigans that happens in the sidelines. Ganon. Pero ito parang, hindi ko maalala na parang ganito ka-convoluted yung first one. Na ang dami-daming parang subplot na nangyayari, tapos biglang masiset aside, biglang magiging, okay, I think this time we can talk about Monica Bellucci.
I want to go into spoilers talaga about this film. Kasi we can't talk about this film without even mentioning how batshit crazy the quote-unquote story is. Sige, tama ka. Una, meron tayo nung thread ni Monica Bellucci. Pangalawa, meron tayo nung thread ni Beetlejuice mismo. Pangatlo, meron tayo nung thread ni Lydia at saka ni Rory, si Justin Theroux. I'll get to him in a moment. And then meron pa tayo nung kay Catherine O'Hara. Tapos meron pa tayo yung kay Willem Dafoe pa.
Yung kay Jenna Ortega pa.
Tapos nakalimutan ko pa yung kay Jenna Ortega pa. That's 6 storylines in one movie, in one 101-minute movie.
Okay, so I guess it goes without saying, spoilers ahead.
Yes. Why are there so many storylines in this movie? I mean, Gough and Miller, they ran some of quote-unquote yung mga iconic na mga TV shows ng kabataan natin, most notably Smallville. Okay? Pero dito mo makikita na hindi sila marunong magsulat for a film.
Oo kasi parang it feels like a TV show. And funny kasi, di ba, one of the writers was the creator ba of Wednesday?
Si Gough and Miller. Yan, sila yung gumawa ng nung Wednesday na TV show.
O yun. So parang, I think lumalabas dito sa pagkakasulat nila nitong movie na to na they are TV writers. They're not film writers. Kasi the fact na sobrang daming plotline for every character.
Every character has a plotline, literal.
That only works kung marami kang episodes, kung marami kang minutes. Pero kapag kapag movie, parang, okay, we still have subplots in movies, pero hindi ganun kadami.
At saka, make everything pay off together at the end. Ito, sige. Sabihin natin na yung payoff niya, nag-come together silang lahat dun sa church.
Yun na yun?
Yun yung payoff nun, okay? Sige, I guess this is a good time for us to move on to the next part of our dissection of this movie. This quote-unquote movie is just member berries the movie. It's written by people who do not understand the iconography of the original that they're making a sequel to.
I mean, they understand the iconography, but they didn't understand the story.
Well, yun na nga. For you to be able to understand the iconography, dapat alam mo kung bakit lumabas yun dun sa una. Kasi ito. Nung pinanood natin ulit yung nung pinanood ko pala yung una, recently, para lang ma-refresh yung memory ko, nilista ko yung mga nakita kong kaparehas nung una dun sa pangalawa after we saw Beetlejuice. Yes, they got the opening credit sequence na scale model. Woo, remember that? Tapos, meron sila nung Chalk Door to the Afterlife. Woo, remember that? Tapos, yung way ng pagtakot niya kay Justin Theroux, ganun niya, quote-unquote, binati si Alec Baldwin tsaka si Gina Davis. But the most egregious sin that this film committed against the first film is not understanding why there was a song and dance number in the first place.
So, yung ginawa nilang song and dance number, this Beetlejuice, is not at par dun sa una.
No. Kasi yung sa una, and just to jog everybody's memory, ang ginawa nila dun sa yung Deo, yung banana song. Okay? Kaya sobrang sikat nun. Kasi, pagkatapos pumunta ni Adam at saka ni Barbara doon sa Afterlife, doon sa kanilang case manager nila, doon sa case nila, sinabihan sila na parang, scare them yourself. Don't get Beetlejuice's help to scare the humans away. So, sila, being the nice people that they are, naisip nilang gawin, sinapian nila yung mga members ng parang dinner party ng pamilya.
Okay.
Tapos pinasayaw nila ng Deo. Tapos, pagkatapos nun, akala mo na matatakot na sila. Na parang, oh my God, nasabihan kami. Mas lalo silang natuwa na parang, uy,
nag-enjoy sila.
Nag-enjoy sila. Parang, hey, let's make a supernatural theme park in this house. Parang ganon. Dito, I have no freaking clue what the song and dance number was even about.
Oo nga, iniisip ko din eh. Parang,
in the context of this film, kahit in this film lang alone, hindi ko maintindihan kung bakit kailangan may ganun.
Sino bang nagko-compel sa kanila na kumanta? Di ba si Beetlejuice?
Yun. So parang hindi din naintindihan nung nagsulat nitong movie na to, sino yung impetus nung song and dance number. And
wala lang, parang just to parallel lang yung una siguro, I guess.
Diba? Na parang, uy, may song and dance sa una, diba? Uy, may song and dance din kami.
Easter egg the movie.
Yes. That is exactly what this movie, the Beetlejuice is. It's Easter egg the movie. And it's absolutely disappointing. It's saddening. Nakakalungkot siya kasi parang sobrang, if you see the first one again, it's available in Apple TV, iTunes, whatever you call it. It's one of the most feel-good films. Horror comedy, oo. Pero at the center of this movie, the first one, is about a husband and a wife who have trouble adjusting to their new normal, which is...
Or accepting their death.
Their faith. Their faith, oo. And they want to, originally, they want to parang scare away the new people in their lives. Pero ang ending is, they accept it. And ang ganda nga ng ending ng una kasi, essentially, parang si Adam at saka si Barbara yung tumayong magulang ni Lydia. And
okay, sige.
Walang sinabi dito sa pangalawa na may nag-denied ni Adam and Barbara Maitland si Lydia Dietz growing up. Walang anything.
Speaking of Lydia Dietz, what do you think about dun sa parang naging web show niya? Na parang na siya, parang siyang si Ed Galuwag, gano'n, na parang naging medium siya.
Diyos ko, Mariosep.
Ano masasabi mo doon? Do you think that is parang in character?
It's funny because if you think about it, Lydia having the TV show, yung producer si Justin Theroux, is basically the film saying na her parents were right in the first film. Let's make money out of the ghosts. Yun na nga yung message nung unang sine eh. Don't exploit the ghosts.
Which is funny kasi, di ba, I remember Winona Ryder's character being so rebellious na parang meron siyang sarili niyang gusto.
Well, not necessarily rebellious, pero more lang na parang neglected na magulang niya. Finding solace in these kind ghosts. So, hindi naman siya more siguro rebellious, pero more na parang mas may amor siya doon sa kay Adam tsaka kay Barbara.
Which is sad kasi dun sa Beetlejuice, parang she's trying to drown out her powers, basically, to see ghosts. Kasi gusto niya nang uminom ng gamot to dull yung yung clairvoyance niya. So parang nawala na rin siya ng amor.
True. So anong doon? Parang just let us know. Did Adam and Barbara finally decide to move on? Yung ganun, walang anything eh. Years have passed and we don't know what happened in the middle. Again, we will go back to the holy grail of legacy sequels, Top Gun Maverick. The reason why that movie works so freaking well is because it elegantly fills in the gaps between 1 and 2.
And I wonder why hindi na lang nila in-invite si Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis. I mean, they're still active.
Tsaka di naman sila cancelled.
Oo.
Diba?
Hindi naman.
True.
I mean, may kaso si Alec Baldwin but hindi pa naman siya cancelled yet.
Oo. Well,
it's debatable din naman.
Siya naman yung mabait dun sa tawag dito. Siya kasi, naman yung good dun sa case niya.
They are ghosts naman. I mean, hindi naman sila mamawawala, di ba?
Oo.
Tsaka yung sa Beetlejuice world, yung underworld naman. Parang what can you say about that comparing to the first movie?
I mean, sige, fine. We'll give credit where credit is due. I mean, given the technology has improved over the 36 years, siguro doon natin nakita na mas nag-improve siya sa una. Kasi
visually lang talaga
siya nag-level up. Pero in terms of the story, it took 15 steps backwards.
Especially if you're a big fan of the first one, parang napaka-underwhelming nitong story na to.
Oo.
Tsaka parang parang I won't like where you took the characters' arcs dito. Kasi even kay yung Catherine O'Hara, yung kay Winona Ryder na para na lang siyang naging sobrang manipulated na and exploited na person imbes na sana, alam mo yon, parang naging one-dimensional eh.
At saka yung look niya dito sa second, yung spiky bangs niya, it appeared in just one sequence dun sa unang scene, dun sa ending lang. And apparently, Gough Miller and Graham Smith thought na parang, uy, yun talaga si Lydia Deetz. Hindi eh. I mean, she's a fully formed character in the first film. Why do you relegate her to just iconography? Dito sa pangalawa, and don't even get me started kay Justin Theroux. Diyos ko Mariose. I hate it when actors do inferior impressions of far more superior actors. Especially when sobrang blatant nung shtick. We've been rewatching the all-time classic, Arrested Development.
Yeah.
And isa sa mga characters doon is si Job Bluth, played by the wonderful Will Arnett. And
parang ang ganun, no?
Yes, Justin Theroux is just doing a Will Arnett impression.
Para siyang Job.
Parang Job Bluth lang siya. May isang sequence dito na talagang cut and paste mo. Tanggalin mo si Justin Theroux, ipasok mo si Will Arnett, and it's Job Bluth. That's it. Ay, this movie is a big disappointment. Kainis. I mean,
it's nice to see the aesthetic of Beetlejuice come to life and parang updated for the 21st century kids, I guess. Pero ito pala, question ko, yung first movie ba is parang as kid-friendly as this one?
Save for some language, it's far more kid-friendly than this one.
Kasi I was under the impression na parang this film feels like a cartoon show na masyado siyang catered to the kids. Parang hindi siya for adults. Kaya siguro ganun ka-simple yung, or ganun ka, parang sketch, parang vignettes yung story. Para siyang, it's funny kasi we were talking about this movie with our Sinehan buddies. I think sila Lorna, or Lorna Lovelace, we agreed na parang this movie feels like a fever dream.
Yes.
Diba?
I mean, parang inano ko nga sa sarili ko, pagising ko ba, Wala akong nilalagnat ba ako? Kasi ang...
Kung saan nagpupunta yung just like a fever dream, di ba?
God.
So yeah. I guess we can reveal our score for this movie.
Go watch it for visuals, I guess. I mean, if that's what people are into these days, wala na silang premium na nilalagay masyado into good writing. Yeah, go watch this visually fantastic movie. Pero if
ano bang
you love,
rating niya sa Rotten Tomatoes ngayon?
Well, if you love the first one, God, don't say I didn't warn you. Rotten Tomatoes, it's currently at 78, and the first one is at 82. Yan. So it's funny that the estimation of the first one is rising because of how poorly this second one was made. I'm sorry. Siguro naghalo yung merong emotional connection ako dun sa sine. Plus it's just really a bad film. It's just really a bad film.
Badly written.
Badly written film. Talaga. Everyone...
Aesthetically, visually pleasing, and visually aligned dun sa first one. But in terms of story, wala. Walang
Yeah. I hate to give this the rating I'm gonna give it, pero wala eh. This movie broke my heart. We're gonna give it a C+. Talaga. I mean, it was there. Everything that could have made the movie successful was there, pero yeah.
Another victim of sequelitis.
Yeah. So wala pa rin nakagawa ng makakapantay dun sa legacy sequel at achievement ng Top Gun Maverick talaga. Siya pa rin ang gold standard.
Okay. Yeah,
I guess. Sorry, napaka-downer ba? I guess that's it for our episode talking about Beetlejuice. If you've seen the film, please share with us what you thought about it. Comment it on our social media accounts or down below on our Spotify episode page.
Don't forget to set your players to automatically download our new episodes so you don't miss out on our fun Cinegeek conversations. And while you're at it, give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you had fun or learned something new during this episode.
And we would like to thank Warner Brothers Philippines for inviting us to watch Beetlejuice during its red carpet premiere. But as always, the studio and the distributor of the film were not given any creative control or editorial approval of this episode. They are hearing our review for the first time, same as you are.
For my co-host Troy, this has been Angela. Thank you for listening to the Cinegeeks podcast, where movies, TV, and all things geek collide.